we'll dive in. Okay. So then, guys, welcome back to episode 5 of the High Ticket Legacy podcast. We're back with another fire episode, and as always, I'm joined alongside Jordan to bring you another powerful conversation. This week, we've got an absolute legend joining us, Adam Gateley, a highly successful entrepreneur who has built an insane life through affiliate marketing and is now living out in Dubai, enjoying complete time and financial freedom. But that's just one side of his story. In this episode, we're breaking down exactly what this business model is, the true earning potential, and some of Adam's biggest commissions. We're diving into we're diving deep into the mindset, strategies, and opportunities that have allowed him to create this incredible lifestyle and how you can do the same. How you can do the same, you do not have to miss this one. Get ready for a very inspirational conversation packed with value, insights, and game-changing advice. Adam, it's an absolute honor to have you here, mate. So what we do, mate, is we'll take it back from to the very start of your life. You can give us a brief backstory, how you was back then, and then to the position that you are in right now. So in your own time, mate, fire away. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me as well. Really appreciate being asked to come on. And yeah, the start of this long journey started back in Yorkshire, and that's where I've grown up. That's where I spent all of my childhood until about I would say about 2019 when I went traveling with my wife, but we'll get into that. But yeah, back then I had a quite a good childhood. I know that there's people out there that have had a tough childhood, and I respect those people that have a tough childhood, but like pull themselves out of it. But I've got to say, I had a pretty good childhood. We always went on holiday once a year, so that was the signs of a good childhood as well. And I think when I got to when you get to like early adult life and you're interacting in social situations, I found myself or scared of it. So I would say that from an early adult, I've been an introvert and never really liked social situations too much unless I really knew the people there. And that's been the same, since then, to be honest with you as well. So got to the age of, let's say, when you have to make some decisions about leaving school, I literally didn't have a clue what I wanted to be. And looking back now, you probably have most people on the podcast, most guests on the podcast, if they're in business now, they look back on their school days and think, what was it all for?
Yeah,
And and you probably two of you probably agree with me as well.
definitely, definitely.
And and I think like we kind of wasted those years. I mean, we're told to go to school. We had no choice, but those years now I see as wasted. Could have been doing something else with them and learning in a different way. Let's be honest, there's better ways to learn than school and university as well. So when I got to about 16, 17, I just carried on with sixth form and did subjects that I thought were all right. Probably picked like the top three, top two or three to continue with that I just found easier.
Yeah.
So got to the point of gonna like making the decision to go to university and I didn't go. I didn't really want to go. And if I did go, it probably would have been only for the drinking. Because even though I was an introvert, like I did like a drink and I had a small group of friends and we did used to go out and stuff. So I'll be honest, if I did go to university, it probably would have only been for that. And but I didn't, and that saved me and probably my parents a bit of money at the time as well. And I ended up because I didn't have a clue what to do. I ended up just falling into a job at Asda, which is a British supermarket.
Yeah.
If you guys know it,
Yeah.
bright green uniform,
Nice.
honestly. But it got me a bit of money in the bank. that was the main thing that I was bothered about at that point. Money in the bank to go out at the weekend. And probably got to the age of about, let's say, 21, 22. And I started to try and sort myself out with a half decent job. So I got a job in a finance company at that point. And then moving forward fast, 10 years later, I was still there. And you know how it is when you get a new job, you do kind of put yourself into it. If you're like me anyway, you do put yourself into it at the beginning and you do think I'm going to try my best with this, enjoy it, see if I can make as much money as I can and have an easier life because no one wants a job what's stressful, do they? Let's be honest. So
No,
it wasn't too stressful at the beginning. I was in the honeymoon period of the job in the first few years. I was enjoying it. I was doing all right as well. I was there was opportunities for like bonuses and things like that. So I was trying to better myself doing things like that and getting those things. And then after 10 years in any job, I think unless you're really, really passionate about it, you're gonna have a period of problems, let's say,
yeah,
that are created by the job, by the managers, by the time that you feel like you're giving them, by the lack of appreciation, lack of financial rewards. All of these things were coming together for me. I was about 30. I think I just passed 30 years old at the time. And it was that point as well. I was really like, I'd done a bit of traveling, but it was only like holidays. So never long-term travel. And as you know, and I think you guys are passionate about travel as well, you get to a certain point and you think, I want to see the world, but if I just do 2 weeks a year or 3 weeks a year, I'm not going to get to see. I'm going to have to like select the places I want to see.
yeah,
And I got with my wife, well, now wife Sally at this point as well. She had a passion for it. So like when you're talking about it every night, you're thinking, how can we find a way to travel more, not lose our income, but see the world? And what I remember one specific moment at work, and I'd been put on a performance improvement plan for about 3 or 4 months at this point, which is obviously they get you down, sit you in an office, tell you basically you're not pulling your weight, you're doing shit. We need to see an improvement in your figures, your targets. I brought commissions into the company. That was my job. So I processed financial transactions like loans for customers.
yeah,
So they would come to me, get me on the phone, and I will run through an application, find out what we could offer them as a loan company, and they would either take it or not take it. If they did take it, I would process the documents in a simple 1 minute. That was the job really.
yeah.
And we received a commission for how many of those we did. And at this point, my target in commission was 30 grand in a month to bring into the company. And I wasn't hitting that target. And then after these, I think it was 4 months, finally, after a lot of hard work, I hit that target of 30 grand. And naturally, you're buzzing, you get off of the performance improvement plan. And within about 30 seconds of my boss telling me, sitting me down, telling me, well done, congratulations for doing that, she said, next month, your target's going to 40 grand. Uh,
Oh,
Moving the goalposts.
no filter.
Yeah, you can imagine like these 4 months of pressure, build up, hard work, working more than ever, fighting to get these deals over the line, and then within 30 seconds you're just crushed.
Yeah,
3 days later, I found an advert to start this business, and then things moved on from there. And then I guess we'll get into it, but 7.5 years ago that now. So there's 7.5 years of work gone into the business, which we're going to unpack today. But that was, I feel, looking back now, the big trigger of why I'm here today. It's like a snowball effect, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
That's perfect, Adam. It's a good backstory to obviously lead on from, and thank you for sharing that as well, man. That's it's special in its own right because a lot of people don't really have that realization and probably would just think, okay, yeah, my target is going to be 40 grand for next month, and yeah, I'll do it, and like run with all the sheep and the seven dwarfs to go and do it, and that's just it's just not the way you want to be playing life. So anyone listening,
Well,
if you're that type of person, reevaluate. Um, so
they,
we'll get into it. Go on,
Go on,
Adam.
then.
they dangle the carrot. They dangle the carrot, don't they?
Mm.
And
Yeah. That's it.
for year, for years, for some people, they're
Yeah,
chasing this carrot.
they show you what you can have. You get a bite of that carrot, and then you want a bit more because obviously naturally you you do get into a job and you want to progress. You want more out of life, and that's just the kind of natural course of what everyone's kind of been shown. And fortunately, it's just to keep you happy, keep you comfy, and keep you in that job to assume and think that you're doing everything right.
Yeah,
Um, and it's no right or wrong way to really go about life. It's just a bit maybe of what people think is the easy path is actually a little bit harder. So perfect. So we'll get into some questions, Adam. Now I'll go over from here. So first things first, part of this podcast, we want as many people as possible to kind of understand what this business is. We talked on previous podcasts, and what we found is that the people want to know more. Now they want to know what is it, why is it turning people into such amazing individuals, such as yourself, such as previous people we've had on. And I think now is it's a good time to use you as a perfect example because we think, you're a great guy. You're completely level-headed, which we can see on everything you do, and your your content speaks volume to us as well. So I think me and James have spoke about this before. We think it's perfect, and it's ticking every box for us. So we want to give people as much info now on the back of that. So if that's okay with you, we'll dive in.
yeah.
So how would you describe the Enagic business model in your own words, and how does it compare to other online business models, particularly the low ticket side of affiliate marketing compared to ours and the high ticket side?
Yeah, so great question to kick off on. And it's obviously unique, different to many other business models out there. The first thing I would say about other business models, like people should definitely make their own decisions about them, like 100%. Like there's no right or wrong business model out there. There is some wrong ones probably, but in general, in general, in the online business world, there's great ones and so I think one that resonates with you has got to be top of the list. So whatever is good for us might not be good for someone else and vice versa. With an adject, it can't be, I don't really think it can be put into a box, let's say, and that an adject business model is part of this type of business model because it is like one of its own. I know we're on the podcast, which is the high ticket podcast, and that is essentially, what it is into it. So I would say that obviously it's a mixture of affiliate and network marketing. When people hear network marketing, sometimes they're a bit like, stay away. Like they'll make you write a list and get your family round and your friends round into your living room and sell you some like Tupperware. Remember that?
Yeah, that's an old one, that.
Yeah. So we've moved along in the digital world. We've moved along a long way since those days. You don't have to do that anymore. And I would say as well, like comparing it to high ticket and low ticket, this is actually in my webinar about the business opportunity. So I do the comparison between high ticket and low ticket, and the comparison is like I bring up the on screen an example of a post of someone that I actually helped, and they were doing body shop. So they were selling like bath bombs and shampoos, things like that, and they were like for five of them, I think it was like 20 quid.
Yeah.
And obviously they were making 10 to 20% commission on that. So like do the maths on that. It's not even enough for a
Like
Starbucks, is it? Or a Mackey's. It's not even
Yeah.
enough. And what I say is I know we're having a laugh about it, but I don't want to bash those people because they don't know any different.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? People just do what they do for themselves to earn money and for their family as well. And sometimes people don't know any different. They don't know there's a business model like ours out there, which is high ticket, high value products, earning up to 50% commission, which if you're in the UK, you can earn anywhere between roughly about £1,000 and £4,000 on a product or a product package that we sell. And because you can earn that amount of money, that gives you leeway to invest money into social media adverts.
Yeah.
And why social media adverts? Well, instead of the Tupperware scenario where you have to get everyone round and tell them about your nice products and how they can invest in one and what they can do for them. Instead of that scenario, which also in this day and age, let's be honest, could get a bit awkward because like no one likes to be sold to, especially face to face
Yeah.
and things like that. And as a business owner as well, new business owners, they can find that awkward as well if they're not from a sales background. So that's that one. Let's just park that one there, like what I've just mentioned, the Tupperware scenario. Then you've got the, let's say the middle scenario, which some people will do, which is the body shop scenario. So posting on social media, not paying for these posts, not investing in these posts, posting on social media, messaging your friends and family and your Facebook friends and your Uncle Jim and your old school friends and all of that, messaging them to see if they're interested in buying your products. That can only go on for so long as well, in my eyes, because you've only got so many Facebook friends, and your family might buy from you initially, but they're not going to buy from you every week to just keep supporting your business. Not to mention the amount of commissions that you're getting. You're working so hard for pounds. And then you've got our version, which is social media ads. And some people might say as well, I've tried Facebook ads before, they didn't work. But did you have a strategy to sell in the background? But did you have like training and mentorship? And did you work out the numbers of your adverts? Like what's doing well? Did you find out what's doing well, what's not doing well, what might need a few tweaks? Did you learn about copywriting, email marketing, all of that?
Mm.
Which is something that we have in our trainings, teaching people how to do all of this. So Facebook ads, you're paying an investment of, well, you could even start if you really wanted to from £3, £5 a day. I think the average that people spend in investing our business into their ads is anywhere from £5 to £10 a day.
Mm.
And what you're investing in is social media, putting your advert in front of people that are interested in your advert. Like you can even target people in the back office, and everyone's got a back office Facebook ads manager. You can even target people who have a buying history on social media. So
Yeah.
they're known for going on and making purchases. You can target those people. And it's so powerful because of that. You can reach so many people, whichever country you want, whichever age range you want, whichever behaviors people act on. And that's why this is one of the first things that I saw. I thought, well, I don't have to really get in people's face to sell what I'm selling.
Yeah.
And that was massive for me. Plus the reach as well. The reach is, you guys know, the reach is
Yeah.
incredible on social media. There's 5 billion people on there for a start. So,
Exactly.
but yeah, we're running social media adverts to attract our ideal customers. They go through a process. We're not stupid. Like we know that not every single person that clicks on the ad is going to make a purchase. But guess
Mm.
what? We don't need to, do we? We don't need every single person to buy because we're earning anywhere from like £1,000 to £4,000 on a sale. So
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 sales a month. That's a full-time income for most people, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it. And
incredible.
what you've just mentioned there, Adam, on the reach, like reaching that X amount of hundreds of thousands of people. Out of those hundreds of thousands, we only need two or three special clicks from someone who's willing to go all the way and invest and do the right thing for themselves. So law of average, will tell you that go to more people, you'll get the right answer eventually. So I know James
Yeah.
has got a good question. So thanks very much for that, Adam. That's perfect.
Yeah, nice. And it's always, and like as you were saying there, Adam, you are going to get people who are going to come through who are genuinely not really interested, and like that's just pretty normal with running paid ads. But like as you said there, you only need a small percentage of sales and commissions, or a certain number of people to come through out of that audience to go through with the opportunity, and then you're like you're up there basically because our commissions are obviously high from the model that we use. But that's great, that mate. What I'll do is I'll dive into our next question here. Um, can you break down the commission structure with an adjunct and explain like the earning potential that we can potentially earn on a sale or a package in our business?
Yeah, definitely. So first thing I would say is the earning potential is unlimited with an adjunct. There's no cap on it. But like a little caveat to it, that doesn't mean much to a lot of people because
Mm.
they can't see how it can come together. So it's good that we'll chat in full about the commission plan with an adjunct because I'll try and break it down to give people realistic numbers to them.
Yeah,
Because when people say like, oh, 50 grand a month, 100 grand a month, to the newest person that's not even started their business yet, they can't fathom how that can happen, understandably as well,
yeah,
because
Mm,
I probably
yeah.
before you start the business, you two as well, you work in a job, you're only kind of dealing with numbers that you can that are
comprehend.
probably just yeah,
Yeah.
probably just enough to to give you a life, to give you a bit of comfort. So to start with, there is six in the initial commission plan with an adjunct. There's actually two commission plans. There's the, let's say the beginning one and the legacy plan, the long-term plan, the long-term career path. So to start with, we've got the initial one, which is there's six levels to it. And when you start, naturally, you're starting at level one. You're earning the lowest commission that you will ever learn, that you will ever earn in the business, which I think is fair enough. Like
Yeah.
if we go to the employed world, why should you get a job and go in at like if there's six levels at like level five
Yeah.
over someone else who's recently started at level one or two? I mean, I know that people have different skills in a job, but generally if you are starting on day one in a job, you are getting paid the lowest you'll ever get paid in that job, and you're given a chance in most jobs to prove yourself, to build yourself up the ladder. And let's be honest, it's pretty much the same with an adjunct. You're starting at level one, but even level one, let's say the lowest commission that you'll ever earn in the business, you're still getting paid anywhere really between 500 a 12 to £1,500 on your first sale upwards, depending on a couple of things, like what product package is your client buying, for example. So there is that, but anywhere between 500 and 12, 1,500 on your first sale in any new business, for me, that's like, wow, that's amazing. Thinking back before to the people making a couple of pounds in the low ticket affiliate marketing, low ticket network marketing business. So that's the first level, and each level moves you up in commissions by about, let me think, by about 10 to 20% each time, let's say, each figure.
Yeah.
So after, let's give an example. So after maybe about between, let's say between seven, eight sales in the business, the middle product package, which let's say is the trifecta package, when you sell a trifecta package, a package of three high ticket health and wellness products, you are getting paid a full-time income for that sale. That is roughly, without me 100% looking, that is roughly about, I think, about 15 to £1,700.
Yeah.
And do the maths. Two of those a month, three of those a month, and then you can start to see how this can be a 5 grand month, a 10 grand month.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, so when you make level six out of the first initial six levels, when you make level six, that's the initial highest one that you can go to. And you also receive it's about £2,500 in a one-off bonus for reaching that level. It's the first significant it's the first significant milestone with an Ajit with this business. And that requires you to get 101 sales and $300,000 in income earned in sales for the overall company. And then they're paying you out at 54% of that,
Yeah.
of those commissions. So it is a little bit complicated at this point, but when you've completed that 101 sales, $300,000 in sales volume, you qualify then for that one-off 2.5 grand bonus. A couple of things that I might have missed there as well. You can get a leg up to the second level and the third level of this commission plan right from the beginning. So if you think about, I don't know, an old-fashioned game of snakes and ladders,
Hmm.
but we take the is it the snakes that
Yeah.
drop you back down?
Yeah.
Snakes drop you back down. So more ladders than snakes.
Right. Well, there's actually no snakes in the business.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
you can't go back down. You can't derank when you've reached a certain point. You can't de-level when you reach a certain level. But you can get on the ladder and you can climb straight from the off, straight from the beginning by coming in with a bigger investment package. So you can, instead of starting at level one, you can start level two with a bigger investment package. Instead of starting at level one or two, you can start at level three with a bigger investment package. And that's why it's all tailored towards how the person wants to get started. There's obviously no pressure on that or anything like that, but you do start with the bigger commissions if you start level two, and the bigger commission than that if you start level three. You can jump up there, get a piggyback to get started, which a lot of people do because they see the value of the higher commissions and they see that they can get to where they want to be a lot quicker. Like if you're going to earn, let's say, 2 grand on your first sale instead of £500 on your first sale, and it's a bigger investment, value of that bigger investment because they're like, well, if I can earn 2 grand on my first sale, that's going to put me in a great position anyway. And in 6 months or 12 months, I might be in a position to quit my job because I'm earning the higher commissions.
Yeah.
So that's another really important thing about the commission plan. But overall, for me, the high ticket commissions sold me at the beginning. And I was looking at the figures and I'm thinking, if I can get 2 of those sales a month, if I can get 3 of those a month or 5 a month, then I'm gonna make a 5 grand month. I'm gonna make a 10 grand month. So I could see it. And when you can see that and you can see those figures and you can see what those figures can do for your life, I think for me, I started to believe it more. I started to believe then that I can do this 100%.
Quality that.
Brilliant. That. Like
Have you
having that moment of realization there of visualizing then your future, whereas maybe in a job you've been visualizing staying in that seat another 5, 10 years, waiting for that
Yeah.
40 grand target to be ticked off.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, that's brilliant. Well explained as well, really, because I think,
you know, go on.
come on, James.
Do you know what it is as well? Is like as we were talking about like the corporate jobs or like the 9 to 5 jobs, people know what they're gonna be in. People know what their income is each month or each week. So there's never gonna be like a strive for, oh, I can see that I can earn this, so I'm gonna push and strive for this. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like so people just do the bare minimum because they just know what they're getting each week, each month. Whereas with this, you can, like as you've just said there, Adam, you can see the potential earnings in this business, and then you're like, wow, them guys are doing it there. I can definitely go and do that myself. Um,
Yeah.
so that was so like well explained, mate, to be honest with you, and makes it like, yeah, it makes it more digestible where you're like, okay, and you're thinking about it, and you can just push for more, man, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Do you want me to touch on the second part briefly? Because I know you had some questions as well on the bonuses, so I could touch on the second part briefly as well of the comp
Yeah.
plan.
So we
yes,
wanted to talk
yeah,
about the like One, when someone reaches 6A, like level 6 as we were explaining there, and beyond, and what kind of potential do legacy ranks unlock, essentially, in your own words, in the simplest of terms, for those new listeners or people who are in the business at an early stage who want to have a good understanding of what is to come in the future.
Yeah, no problem. So one of the caveat to the whole compensation plan and commission plan as well is, I would say, the only, in my eyes, the only way to earn more money in a job is by going for a promotion, so essentially a better job in the company. But we all know what that's going to bring. It's going to bring more responsibilities, probably more stress, more managing of different people, more people. The second way is, if it's possible, to do extra hours, to do overtime, but then you're getting further away from freedom, especially time freedom. You want to spend that time with your family. You don't want to be doing an extra 10 hours a week at work in the office or something like that. And why I like this commission plan as well is they reward you on the effort and the work that you're putting in. So as you move up the commission plan, you get up to the next level by making more sales. So like the first rank is like the first two sales. Then you've got from 2 to 10 is the second level. Then you've got from 11 to 20, then 21 to 50, 51 to 100. And then you've got the sixth rank, which I just mentioned, 101 sales. And then you receive that bonus. And you also receive a certificate as well, which is a nice touch. And then we're moving on to the second part of the commission plan, which is the career plan, the long game, the long-term commission plan with an Agic. And this is really setting you up for life. So with this, it's not just a quick fix. It's not just a quick fix, which you've probably gathered that already. Long-term plan for the rest of your life and beyond that to pass down to your kids. So how it works is, in the second half of the commission, is you're moving then after level 6 to a level called 6A2, which means that you have people in your organization that have also reached the level 6 in the initial commission plan. That will move you to 6A2. And at that point, you qualify you unlock monthly bonuses for life and you unlock quarterly bonuses for life. And how you get paid them is you get a portion of each sale that's completed by you or your whole organization, so your business partners, your team members. And they work it out how many that's gone through on a monthly basis and a quarterly basis. And roughly, to give you some figures, roughly at that point, depending on performance, but performance should be very strong at that point because you've probably been in the business a good few years, you've picked up momentum, etc. You know what to do. In my eyes, if you can make one sale online, you can make 10, you can make 100, you can make as many as you want.
Yeah.
So performance should never decline, only if you decline, I guess, as a person, or you have a bit of time out or whatever. But approximately, you're looking at anywhere between 1,000 and 4,000 on a monthly bonus, and anywhere between about 3,000 and 6,000 on a quarterly bonus, which itself is is a full-time wage for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's not to mention that you can put in sales yourself and earn those 1 to 4,000 commissions that I was talking about before. So when you add it all up, obviously you're looking at 5, 10, 15, 20 grand or more every single month.
It's so powerful, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
and like breaking it down again, it does make it more impactful, and like it's literally people's monthly, or it's sorry, it's people's like yearly wage, which is like crazy, like over the duration. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Adam, thank you very much for sharing that. I'm gonna ask you another one now, mate. Why do you think the Enagic business model offers such a unique opportunity for the financial freedom compared to other online businesses?
For me, I would say two or maybe three things. First, which we've already touched on with, which is the high ticket model of business that we're working with. And we are, not to mention, we're working with a company that are Japanese that have the Japanese, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, they're definitely in the top two or top three of countries where people live the longest. So we're working with their health technology, we're working with their products, and that's a really important thing. We went to myself, Sally, and a lot of the team went to the Japan event in June last year, and to see how they are as a company. Like the CEO is there. He's I think like almost 80 years old. I think he's beyond 80 years old now.
Yeah.
Like he's there greeting everyone and the company's family run as well. Even though it's a massive multi-million pound company, everyone is there. Everyone wants to speak to you as well. And just how they are with you on that personal note is massive as well.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why they're unique. The second is the high ticket business opportunity, the high ticket commission that they want to pay us. They, as I said before, they want to pay us on the commission plan, rewarding us for our efforts. Completely different to how corporate companies are structured. They could easily pay huge marketing companies and advertising companies millions or billions of pounds to do their marketing and advertising, but they choose not to do that. They choose to pay that money to us for doing the marketing and advertising so that we can become entrepreneurs from beginner level and earn these types of commissions and this type of money. And more to the point, what it can provide for us and our families as well. So that's another reason. So
Yeah.
if you could summarize that, you could say Enagic, the company, is unique in itself.
Mm.
Yeah.
You've got another side to this as well. Business is structured. If you help people, naturally you progress and you become successful. And that's what's created from that is a massive culture to help all your team, to give mentorship, to receive mentorship, to give coaching, to receive coaching. And it's like you're working together. Let's be honest, entrepreneurship, it can be a lonely road, I know, for so many people. Like a lot of my friends are business owners as well, but the traditional ones like plumbers, like gas fitters, like mechanics, garage owners, and they talk to me about some of their problems and stresses, and they don't have any mentors. They literally have to figure this shit out for themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful that we're in this business model with where we can go to people, anyone really,
Mm.
and they're more than willing to help you because the chances are they've had a problem that you can go to them to help to solve and vice versa. So that's another vitally important part of why the business is unique because of the mentorship you receive. I've spoke to a lot of people. They
Yeah.
bought a course, whatever it might be. It could be like on Forex trading or whatever. Bought a course, get given the logins, like, yeah, see you later. Have a good time with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was one of those people, Adam,
Oh, mate.
who fell for that probably a good year and a half ago when I invested money into that thinking, fuck yeah, this is it. I'm gonna earn all kinds of money forex trading. Didn't have a
Yeah.
fucking clue what I was doing at all. As you say, signed up with someone, used their login, used like their link. Next minute, I was a fucking forex trader for a day and a half, I think, when I lost all my money, which was quite funny.
Oh, mate.
I can laugh about it now, but at the time it was like heart-wrenching.
Mm.
Yeah.
I was like, felt like I'd been had off and all of this. But the truth be told, the guy who kind of sold me that forex trading course, he didn't really do anything wrong. It was just me for being so ridiculously stupid and being blindsided by something like that. Because everything he offered me when I look back at the conversation I had was pretty all completely legit in what he was saying, and I just was sold by the idea of being able to earn a lot of money fast. And for anyone listening, that's not the best way to go about anything. Like Adam explained with the levels, starting off at a start point, which is the norm, and working your way through and earning commissions as you get further along is a much more logical way of trying to make something of yourself instead of someone telling you you can possibly earn 10 grand off one sale in a day, which isn't true. Um, but no, perfectly said, Adam, as well in regards to that. Brilliant, man, brilliant. Um, the next question we've got on the back of that is it's quite a touchy subject for a lot of people, and I think all of us kind of experience it. Um, but it's basically around what advice can you give to people who maybe have a skeptical parent or skeptical partners who are maybe trying to put them off this business, who maybe haven't looked at the discovery process, watched a webinar, or even don't even know what a K8 is, and someone's trying to explain a million words to them in 30 seconds to tell them this business model to expect people to just go, yeah, go for it. What advice would you give people around that?
Well, if it's the person who wants to do this, but is having the resistance from a partner or a family member, could be anyone actually.
Mm,
I would say that if they can, to get that person to sit down and watch the discovery process, the training on the products that is available to them,
mm,
the chances are they probably won't want to do that because they'll these people are just so close-minded.
yeah,
It's unreal. They're not even willing to watch, I don't know, a 30-minute video to learn about it. They would rather be in the mindset of I'm right and you're wrong, and I'm not willing to change my opinion. And it is a difficult, like you say, touchy subject. And I've got on calls with so many people who want to start the business, but they cannot get over the hurdle of their partner or somebody else who's literally telling them it's a scam, it's a pyramid scheme, don't do it, you'll lose your money, you'll fail anyway. And it just blows my mind. I might be the wrong person to ask because I've never managed to actually turn that person around. I also feel really sorry for them
yeah,
because they're having their goals snatched away from them from
mhm,
someone who, let's be honest, does not know shit. They
yeah,
don't know anything about the business. They're not willing to sit down and look and educate themselves about the business. And the best advice I can give is you should never really take the opinions or let people impact you and your decisions who don't have the results that you want.
yeah,
I've probably been quite lucky in this. I've had people comment on my ads like scam, pyramid scheme, don't do this, don't do that. And that is someone in person. You can literally just block them if you really want to. I mean, you can
yeah,
get into a conversation with them, but I've never managed to really turn anyone round from a conversation. So most of the time, just block them.
yeah,
But in person, down the pub or with the person that you're living with day to day, like your partner, that must be a very difficult situation.
mhm,
And the thing about the partner as well is, it's very easy for me to say this. It's easier said than done. But I just think, why are you with someone who is not willing to support your dreams? Like they're wanting to do this to improve, probably improve your life more than their own life.
yeah,
No.
yeah,
Like
definitely.
if you've got kids as well, like most of the, I've not got kids, but most of the time I would feel that if you have kids, you want to improve their life more than your own life because naturally the life improves for everyone.
Yeah,
So why would you not want to like if you sat there with your partner, like saying to them, I'm doing this to improve our life. You can see I'm having a shit time at work. Why would you want that shit time to be prolonged?
Mm,
yeah,
So that's what I would say to people. But the key thing is people take advice from anyone, whether
mm,
they are experienced in the subject or not. And my motto is someone who you wouldn't trade places with.
yeah, yeah. I
that's
suppose
brilliant.
it's like like the old saying of like your environment, like the people who you're around and people who you listen to are going to have a massive effect on your life. And if someone doesn't really follow and see your vision as clearly as you do, despite all your efforts that you put in to try and make it clear to them, it's a difficult situation to overcome.
Well,
And it's a case of maybe going through a bit of the motions with them to get to that stage. It might not happen overnight. It might take a week. It might take a month before they come round to it. It might take results to see they're going to come round to it, but it's just part and parcel of getting through it.
yeah, I mean, let's be honest, like 90% of people, the general public, especially in the UK, they would rather blame the government, blame the millionaires, blame the billionaires, blame whoever for their lack of results or their situation instead of, I don't know, going online, following entrepreneurs, taking in everything what they're saying, go to networking events, go to business opportunity events, and work on themselves, stick a podcast in their ear that's going to teach them something. 10% of people do that in the UK and 90% don't. They're in the blame. Like, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. They
Yeah,
won't take responsibility. So the chances are 9 out of 10 people who you sit with in the UK in a pub, you tell them about the business opportunities, probably one of them might back you and nine of them won't back you. And that's just facts, really, in my eyes. So
yeah,
you have to you might actually only be the one. You might have no one there backing you actually. And you have to push through that and you can't ignore what they're saying, but when you get home, you can work on ways to not let it affect you and your decision making process.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
that's
definitely.
perfect. And the reason why we asked that, Adam, was because my dad was a very big skeptic. Like, if I like, I had my own money to invest. I had savings and stuff, and I aligned with the business and the products and everything. Actually didn't tell him, and then he could see me working on the laptop, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing on this laptop?" And I was like, "I'm part of this online business now. I've invested my money." And he's like, "How much have you invested? This is a scam. This is this." And I was like, "Dad, listen." I really need this. Well, not that I really need the support right now, but like I don't need the negativity in my life right now. If you're gonna support me, great. If you're not, then your opinion is not really like something that I want to listen to. So that's
Yeah.
why we asked that question, man. And it can get to you because we had a conversation the other day, and he still says stuff, and I'm like, Dad, like, what are you going on about? Like, this is me. This is my life now. Like, Dan, this is my ship. Um. So we still go back and forth, but I used to let it kind of affect me, and now it's just like, just whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I know
um,
what you mean.
but thank you very much for that, mate. Um, and then Adam, in terms of someone considering this opportunity, what would you say is the biggest reason they should take action on this if they align with the opportunity?
I would say the biggest reason is they've reached the point of seriously considering it. So obviously we all have processes in place. People will click on an ad, they will watch an introductory video, they'll go through a discovery process to learn everything about it. They'll get on a call with us. So it's not like they're just trying to make a decision on a whim. They've gone through the whole process. They are seriously interested in getting started. I'm sure people don't sit around and go through processes like that every day just because they're bored or want some entertainment. So, first off, they're going to be seriously interested in getting started at this point. So then it boils down to like, what are you going to do with your life over the next 5, 10 years if you don't take it? I always think when I'm making a decision, I always think of like the worst case scenarios, all the things that will happen if I don't do it.
Yeah,
So then it's a case of mapping out what your life will look like if you don't do this. Like the chances are you're seriously looking for an opportunity because you wouldn't have gone through the process that I just said. So then if you don't take this opportunity, you're probably going to look on YouTube, on Instagram, on Google for other opportunities. You're going to go through the process again. And then are you going to take that opportunity? And you're going to go through this process all of the time for the next however many years until something happens, like, and shocks you into action, maybe. Like, I don't know. You have a big bill to pay for and you can't pay for it, so you have to lump it on a credit card and it's 10 grand and it's stressing you out, and then you're forced to create another stream of income or get a second job or get a third job, do delivery driving. Like, do you want to do that? I'm just mapping out all the scenarios if you don't do this. What are
Yeah.
you going to do in 5 years or 10 years if you don't have the lifestyle that you want? You're going to be stuck in your job. Like we said right at the top of the podcast, like waiting for that 1, 2, 3% pay rise. Are you prepared to deal with that? And all of the other things that could happen. I think people are quite, they think about next week and maybe next month and tomorrow, but they don't think about 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 years down the line. Like if you've not got kids yet, but you plan on having kids, what life do you want them to have in 5 or 10 years' time? Do you want them to, do you want to have to say no to them to go to Disneyland? How would that feeling be inside? Think about that right now in your stomach.
Yeah.
So all of these things, and then I said, think about the worst case scenario. Even if it takes you longer than other people to get to where you want to be, would you accept that? Like if it took you 10 months to get your first sale and you were expecting to get it in 2 months, like, but then after 10 months, you went on a roll and you started making these 5 grand months and 10 grand months, like, would that be okay with you? Because it was okay for me. Like I realized, yeah, I want to get there as quick as possible, but I am prepared to suck it up in the meantime. If it means that in 5 years I'm going to have like my dream life and not really gonna have to worry about money, yeah, I'm prepared to suck it up. So this, I know I'm jumping around all over the place. This is just my thought process
Mm.
when I started the business and when I'm like I bought a course last year. It was about a grand for public speaking, and hopefully it's coming in useful right now. And but I went through the thought process. I want to get better at public speaking. If I don't do this, then I'm going to be only looking for another public speaking course in 1, 2, 3, 4 months and going through the process again. And then when am I going to take action? So I might as well just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And even if I only put 20% of what I learn into practice, I'm going to be 20% better at public speaking.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this is just how my thought process works when I'm making big decisions, financial decisions.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a good mindset to have, really. Like, at least put something in, you're going to take something from it anyway. If you learn something
Yeah.
like public speaking there, like, I know there was one stage last year I had to do a speech. I'm not going to go into it in detail, but it was at my wedding and I was panicking over it so much. And I invested a little bit of money into help get someone to basically help me speak, as well as
Yeah.
like family members would help me and everything. And I took a lot from that. I didn't learn massive amounts, but I took something from it that worked for me on the day. And if I didn't know that, I would have probably been in bits.
Yeah.
So it worked out well in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, like everything you said there is bang on perfect in terms of putting yourself out there and taking things every day from something. It doesn't matter how long. If you set yourself a target in your head, that's great. But if it takes a little bit longer than that, so be it. Look at your life 5, 10 years from now. What picture do you want to be able to paint on the wall? Not being able to take your kids to Florida or Disneyland that would kill me. I've just had a little girl. If I couldn't do that and she was really wanting to go,
Yeah.
what type of dad would you be then? You
Yeah.
can say you're the best dad in the world, but if you can't give them the little things that they want, it's going to kill you as an individual.
Mm.
Yeah. This is the thing. People say, I'll do anything for my family, I'll do anything for my kids. But when it really comes down to it, they'd rather they don't take the decision. And then that to me says, well, you'd rather work 40 or 50 hours a week away from your family and kids. So you won't actually do anything for them. People just like to say that. And another thing as well, one last thing to add on this question, because it is a great question. When people say, when they get to a certain point, like I said before, they've gone through the whole process and it is time to like say, yeah, I'm doing it, or no, I'm not. And they sit on the fence because they're too scared to make the decision and say, I'm going to think about it. And that
Hmm.
to me is like the biggest cop out. Just like man up and grow a pair and tell me if you're not going to
Yeah.
do it, just tell me, like be
Mm.
open and honest with me. Like It's not for everyone. Let's be honest. It is not for everyone. And if you are going to do it, but you have a few questions, just tell me them as well. You need clarity before you can move forward. Everybody understands that.
Yeah.
But to say, I'm going to think about it, it's like I always think about like the rocking chair. I call it the rocking chair, where I'm going to think about it. What, you're going to go home and sit in your rocking chair and rock backwards and forwards with your hand on your chin like this, thinking about it? No, you're not going to do that. I'll tell you what you're going to do. At some point over the next week or two, you're going to either check your bank account when you need to buy something, or your kid's gonna come up to you and say, Dad, can you take me to football practice? But it's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. And you're gonna say to that second one, I can't, son, because I'm at work.
Yeah, yeah,
Right? There's your time freedom that's not there. And then the first one, like you're gonna check your bank account and you're gonna think, shit, can't I can't afford to take the missus out tonight because things are too tight.
Mm.
There's your answer for your financial freedom.
yeah, definitely.
So it's just a cop out, and I need to think about it, especially when you've gone through a whole process.
Yeah, I actually think as well when people go about that and say, no, I need to think about it, and then I use inverted commas there because I actually input the words, I'm going to find an excuse to not do this. Like, is
Yeah,
basically what they're looking for. Um, but everything in their life is probably telling them that they need to do it. Like you said, they're looking in your bank account thinking, I would like to take the missus out, but it looks like it's going to be Mackey's drive-through for us. So, and you don't
true.
want to be doing that for the rest of your life. If anyone is in that position, no, please don't take offense to that. But like, how long do you want to be riding that road for? And the answer should be not a long time.
Yeah.
So I know we've got one more question, Jay. And
Yeah.
I'll tie it off. I know you asked the previous one.
Mhm.
Um, so Adam, bit of a personal one, but we want to know for the listeners as well. More importantly, what's been your biggest month to date? And it could be money orientated or like win orientated as well. Maybe combine the both, and just in your own words, explain how that made you feel and what it's done for you personally.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll tell you a little story actually.
Okay, good,
You
good.
probably realize that I love telling stories, mate. So going back, I told a little bit about this earlier, but going back to I was 17 and I was doing my A levels at sixth form, and my parents came to me and said, we want to book a holiday to Greece, but we don't want it to clash with your A-level exams. So they wanted me to ask my teachers at school when the exam dates were. And they didn't obviously they wanted to book the holiday, they didn't want the dates to clash. So I went into school and a few days passed, and also I was an introvert as well. And I don't know why, but I just in my head I thought the dates were different. So I didn't even ask the teachers. So goes back to my parents, says, yeah, book the holiday to Greece. And we were going in May, I remember that. And we went to Greece, amazing family holiday. The day after we got home, I was up in my room and I remember this day perfectly. And the phone rings and it's like in the hall but downstairs, so I can hear it. My dad picks up the phone and all I can hear him saying is, "What? I can't believe he's done that. I cannot believe he's done that. I'm so sorry." Slams the phone down, starts charging up the stairs, literally. And then I'm in my room and my stomach is going crazy. Palms are sweaty. I know what's coming. And he's like, what have you done? You've missed your A-level exams. My mum's behind him, like telling him to calm down because, like, I can't do it. But it was just shouting at me so much, so loud. My mum's behind him. She always backed me up no matter what I did, like mums do. So he's going at me, and the top and bottom is, I missed those A-level exams, every one of them, because I didn't ask for the dates, because we went to Greece, and my dad's relationship with me was literally at zero at this point. We had obviously a bad relationship. He didn't believe in me anymore, even at this young age of 17, like not even gone into my adult life officially yet.
Yeah.
And as I went through life, I got the job at Asda, as I said, and I could tell he was like, oh God, I can't believe he's got a job at Asda. I thought he was going to be doing something better than this. No disrespect to anyone that works in a supermarket, but that's just how it was. And then I got the job in finance when I was like 21, 22, and he started to believe in me a little bit more as I got into that job because it was, to him, a more respectable job than a supermarket and an improvement on where I messed up in the exams. And then I started my business, as I said before. I'm sure I was 31 when I started this business. And again, he was a bit more proud of me, and our relationship got better over the years as well, over that 10, 15 years. And now he's more proud of me than ever. We have a great relationship, as it should be. And more importantly, when I hit the legacy rank in the business, which was October 23, so it's just over a year ago now, I was able to, with that money that I'm getting every month, because it's a guaranteed income, you get £4,000 from Enagic every single month as a guaranteed income, and you can pass that down to your kids.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was able to retire my mum. I pay her an income every single month now, what she would have been paid from her job. She worked in a suit shop. They gave her all the shit hours. She was there until like 9 o'clock on a Saturday evening, back in at 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning. So she was really getting sick of it. And I've been able to retire my mum with that money, paying income every month. And that was like a full circle moment when I did that. So I
Yeah.
always say to people, whether you're thinking about starting the business, whether you're in the business and you're just struggling for a bit of inspiration, you're struggling to get moving, when you're taking a big decision like an investment, like what we're just talking about, always think of someone else that you're going to do this for other than yourself. And that's always been in the back of my mind, every big decision that I've taken running this business. So
Yeah.
that brings it round to the biggest financial month that I've had, which was actually that month that I hit the legacy rank, and it was £37,000, the biggest income that I've ever made in anything at all. That was almost double the wage that I received from my job in finance. It would have taken me almost 2 years to reach that level of income in that finance job
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
left it. When I left it in 2017 anyway. I know that things have gone up now. So and that's a coincidence as well. I've just realized that 37K was the exact amount of money that it's cost us to pay for the rent in this apartment in Dubai Marina for 1 year. So we paid it
Yeah.
up front.
Wow.
That's a coincidence, that as well. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
some spiritual thing going on
The
there.
stars are actually aligning over you there,
Yeah,
Adam.
yeah. But this is our dream apartment in the middle of Dubai Marina, and it was kind of covered then in that one income from
Wow.
ranking up, which is the biggest income I've ever had. Yeah, so that's it, I guess.
That's
That's
amazing,
incredible,
man.
Adam. And
So good.
what was the feeling around that, Adam, at the time? Like, was
Yeah,
it?
the feeling was just, I don't know. Do you know when something happens in your life and it might only happen 3 or 4 times? Something positive, obviously, where you
Yeah.
have to like you like gulp, you like sit down and you're like, oh, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
then all these things go around in your mind. I mean, for my wife, she's probably thinking, what can we fucking spend it on?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How many Louis Vuitton bags can I buy with that? But
Yeah.
for me, and I'm sure she did as well, I was thinking this is the results of all the years of
Mm,
hard work, the times when I wanted to chuck the laptop out the window at midnight. Because when we've obviously traveled for 5.5 years as a result of this business, and this is 1 month ago, this is where we settled down in Dubai. But before we traveled, from 2017 to 2019, so the first 2 years of me building my business, I was just sat in an office in a house in Yorkshire. And a lot of the time I was spending it in there working on my business, doing sales calls, doing mentorship calls, figuring out my ads, listening to podcasts. And I always remember that time of being in that little office there. And obviously it was the UK, so like it was either raining or snowing out of the window. And I always remember that time. And when that money hit my account in one go, I was thinking of all the things that have happened to lead me up to this point,
Yeah.
as well as just the natural feelings of being grateful, being excited, being happy about it as well. So, but naturally, you do think, what can I spend the money on? And obviously, this place was up there on the list. And then I was thinking about retiring my mum at that point as well. So I was thinking about she can retire now. What can she do with her life with my dad and things like that? So all of these, so many feelings come into your mind for about a minute, and you're just like, what is happening? You
Yeah,
can't believe it. You're checking it, you're looking at it like over and over again.
brilliant,
Such a
brilliant,
special story, man.
Yeah.
Honestly.
amazing that, Adam. I mean, probably as well. I mean, for yourself, there, you've probably been visualizing that for years prior to that
Yeah.
actually happening, and then for
Yeah.
it to come into realization and in real life there in front of you is unbelievable, really unbelievable. Like your story there is fantastic, and the life that you've built for yourself out in Dubai is amazing to see, really amazing to see. And you've inspired me, you've inspired James. I know he has definitely. He'll back that up. And what you've built is incredible. And following in your type of footsteps is exactly what we want to be able to do. And I know many
Yeah.
people want to do it as well. So anyone listening, Adam's a fantastic role model to look at. James, have you got anything else your side?
I just want to thank you so much, mate, for your time. Like, I know your time's probably precious right now, and like again, you've broke everything down so clearly and understandable for our audience and whoever's going to be listening on the other side. So I just want to say thank you so much, mate. It's amazing to meet you, and you're an inspiration for me and Jordan, and your content and what you do as a person is amazing. So thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me on. As I said right at the beginning, it's been a real good one to talk about different things. And obviously, thanks for the compliments as well. But what I will say is like, and you too as well, like, it's just a matter of, for me, like, it's just a matter of taking the actions, like, and then it's a process. And I would say to anyone, like, be okay with it taking a bit of time because nothing amazing comes instantly from the push of a button for free. And if anyone out there online is telling you it can be done, you can make your first 10 grand in a week, you can make your first million in a month or whatever, then it's bullshit. Everything takes work. But that's good news for everyone because for everyone that's prepared to put the work in, you know that you can reach that level. It's just a matter of taking the steps and letting time do its thing as well.
That's
Mm.
it. That's it. Just going through the process of it. And I echo what James said completely. Completely respect your time as well, Adam. It's great to have you on. So I'm going to close us out. So that's a wrap, everyone, for episode 5. A massive thank you for Adam for sharing your story, your journey, your insights, the wisdom that you've dropped on us today. His story is truly inspiring, and we've leveraged the high ticket affiliate marketing model to build an incredible life in a short space of time for himself. Adam, we really appreciate you taking the time to drop some serious value to the podcast as well. To be open and as clear as possible with the income possibilities, we all massively appreciate it. Your journey proves that at the right mindset and strategy, anything's possible. To everyone tuning in, if you've got value from today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And for anyone who's looking to, get involved a bit more on these podcasts and wants to possibly be on them, just reach out to us. We'd be happy to have you on. Until next time, keep striving for your goals and remember, your legacy's in your hands. Come on.
Thank you so much.
Adam, thank you very much.
Cheers, lads.
Easy, Adam. See you soon,
Bye
mate.
bye.
See you, mate.